Joe Healy with D1 Baseball here as part of our preview of the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota in Arlington. We are joined for this part of the preview with Kansas State head baseball coach Pete Hughes. Coach, first off, thank you for joining us this morning. And how you feeling now that we're 9 days away or whatever it is from the start of opening day?
I'm excited. I think this is my 29th year as a head coach, and it feels the same way every year. I guess when it stops feeling that way, I'll no longer do it. But it's just great when you prepare a team and kids are hungry and they want to compete, and you're anxious to see how these kids are going to battle, kids that you haven't gone to battle with before, and but I'm just happy for the opportunity our kids have. They really work hard, they of course they do at this level, believe me, I know, but come August, it's all consuming, and it's all consuming for February 14th and making that run to get this program to a different level. We got to take the next step, and that's what we talk about every day, and that's what we've been talking about since August, and here we are. So it's a great opportunity for our program to, and it all starts with playing in great venues like. In Arlington and Globe Life, and to kick off the college baseball season in that venue. They do such a great job there.
You mentioned, that well, we should mention the success your team had last season, super regional appearance, winning the Fayetteville Regional. You talk about your team being hungry. How hungry are they to kind of get back out there and prove again they're that kind of team, even as you had a decent bit of roster turnover? How hungry are they to kind of reset that standard and get back out there?
I think we all are, the players and the staff, the community, the athletic department. That's the next step we have to take as a program if we want to be known as a traditional a winner in college baseball. It's called sustainability, and to be able to survive when your roster rolls over if you get hit hard with the draft, and to be able to attract high-end kids in the recruiting market continuously, uh, to develop them, to have your game prep take another step where our program can have sustained success with different bodies and different names. And that's the next goal for our program, if to get to where we really want to get to, and that's a tradition rich winning baseball program. We're a ways away from there, believe me, but we are on track, and that is what we all signed up for to come to Manhattan.
How helpful is it when back on your roster now, in addition to the new faces, you have a core of guys who have kind of been there and done that. You think of David Bishop and Nick English, Ty Rule, Blake Dean. I could go on a little bit, but how important are having those pieces back as guys who understand how the program works, what your expectations are, and understand the winning baseball that you guys have played?
It's crucial, and it's not even from a productivity standpoint. It's more so from a cultural standpoint. When you have 30 new faces walk in your clubhouse, and you've established a winning culture, and all that entails weight room, conditioning, academically, socially, how we practice, how we play, how we represent the university, that's all cultural stuff. And if you don't have the core pieces to emphasize that, and hey, here's our winning ways to all those new faces walking through the door, then it's not going to be sustained. And we're fortunate enough to have some guys like David Bishop, Cayenne Lodi, Tyrol, Nick English, Caden Phillips, all returners from our culture who helped us build it. And they're not looking to make buddies. They're looking to go to Omaha. So sometimes great leaders and guys that sustain your culture have to have uncomfortable, unpopular conversations with new people. And they do all that stuff behind the scenes. It never gets to me. And as a result, we have phenomenal culture again because of the building blocks of the guys that you just referenced.
With whether it's the guys who are returning or some of the new faces, has there been any sort of conversations about, hey, we don't need you to be Kalen Culpepper, we don't need you to be Jackson Wentworth, we just need you to be the best version of yourself? How much is that just understood, or has that been a conversation topic for you guys?
That was meeting number one. It's every single kid that we recruited is was recruited as a piece of the puzzle to close the gap. Um, and were recruited because they're talented enough, and they were recruited because they're going to fit our culture and our winning mindset. But I also told these new guys, don't come in here, and we're pretty heavy and active in the portal as we always will be. Please do not come in here looking to change things culturally because it's as good as it gets. Your only goal is to help us close that gap, that small little gap, that one weekend away, that one more series win to get us Omaha. And that's your job and that's your focus. Just fall into line. Things are good. We don't need anything else other than you playing great, you playing for Kansas State, and you trying to be a great teammate because you're all good enough to help us close that gap. That's why we recruited
You
you.
have a feel for what the identity of this team is, whether it's on the individual units or just as a whole? How much of a feel do you have for that at this point?
I've said it a couple times. I don't know what I'm going to get competitively. I haven't gone to battle with these guys, and believe me, I don't want to over sensationalize the example, but that's what we do. We compete. It's a win resulted. It's a win oriented level of athletics, and yeah, we love to compete. We need to win. Everyone needs to win. Um, but I think our identity for me right now, superficially, just looking at our roster, is the depth. We're going to have a lot of moving parts, more so than my teams in the past. Um, Instead of having a definitive 9 or 10 guys playing every day for us, I think the number is going to be more like 12 to 15. Where you can do a little more platooning and matching up. And we lost some phenomenal arms last year, rotational arms. Owen Borma, Jackson Wentworth. We lost, you know, perhaps the best closer in the country, healthy. Um, but I think our staff's a lot deeper than it was last year, which will allow us to do some things earlier in the game, matchup wise, where if you don't have depth, um, you can't do those things. We were so dependent on getting the ball to Tyson Neighbors. And when you didn't have that option, we'll kind of piecemeal it together. I don't think we'll be like that. We won't look like that this year. So the identity is going to be depth. And when you have depth, you have a lot of people playing, and at the same time, there's going to be a lot of people not playing. So you're going to have that unselfish team approach and understand the big picture. That honestly, we got 30 plus guys helping us win every game and every weekend, and that's kind of the mantra, and that's kind of the way it's looking for me when I look at our depth chart right now.
My final thing for you is you alluded to it a little bit earlier, just the venue of Globe Life Field and playing there. You guys are no stranger to it, not just from you played there in 2022 during the regular season, but obviously Big 12 tournaments, et cetera. But this tournament specifically, what brought you back? What made you want to bring your team back to play in this event?
Well, first of all, we love the people at Globe Life. It's they run tournaments, and right, from the Big 12 tournament, it's just so professional, and um, there's every detail is covered. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about the weather, right? They,
Yeah.
they put a roof on that thing for us, especially early in the year, and that's great. Consistent playing times. Um, they just want to help. They're not trying to avoid anything, and the Rangers are unbelievable too. So that's easy to say yes when invited back, but it's a great venue to kick off the college baseball season, and it's great for our program. It's great for the publicity that tournament gets, but it's always a sign that college baseball is back and in full go. When tournaments from Globe Life are getting written up, so uh, we got a great opportunity to play Arkansas and TCU and Michigan and do it at a great venue. I think it's an awesome opportunity for our kids, experience wise, and but it's also a great venue because it's just going to be consistent with the weather and the climate controlled indoors where you can set up your rotation and play baseball without worrying about um, any other elements that are out there. But really, it's the people at Globe Life and the way they run a tournament that made it really easy for us to say yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned it should be three really competitive ball games. Kansas State taking on Arkansas, Michigan, and TCU at the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Kansas State head coach Pete Hughes, thank you for joining us this morning, and good luck this spring.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate you.